This month is going to be a chunky one. Ay, ay, ay. Hey everyone, Fina here from Fina Reads. Welcome and welcome back to my channel today with my October TBR. And this is a special one because I'm preparing for the Dark Tower readathon, which is organized by Jake the Bookish Drummer and his amazing wife Stacy the Chapter Conundrum. And I'm team captain alongside Jake, of course, and then also Amanda from the Reading and Writing Life and Ian from Ian the Reader. And we cannot wait for this to start. We are all incredibly excited. All of our team members are already gearing up and planning their TBRs. So, well, I had to do that as well, right? 19 prompts is definitely too much. I will very likely not read 19 books in the month of October. I mean, technically I can squeeze in some graphic novels and mangas and whatnot, but I'm not big on those, so I probably will not do that. We will see. You never know at the end of the day. Because for the readathon, one of the big things is that you cannot carry over books. I want to talk about my potential carryover first, because that would actually not count for the readathon. And that is Dark Drinker by Zamil Akhtar, which is book 4 in the Gunmetal Gods saga. I'm in the progress of finishing out some series, so I decided rather than trying to read one a month, I'm going to binge some of those. And I started with the Gunmetal Gods series. So I'm in the middle of book 3 as we speak, as I'm filming this. And I actually hope that I'm going to finish this in the month of September, but there's not much of September left anymore. And this is slightly on the chunkier side, so we'll see if that actually works out. I'm hoping that I will either not have much left of this book, so maybe 100 pages that I can just finish out on October 1st, or that I'm starting with it in October, and then this would be my first book of the readathon. So I'll see kind of how I can make this work, but, you know, the planning is real for this one, so I have no idea what's going to happen. The other series that I want to binge right after Gunmetal Gods is the Ringsworn trilogy. That has been a buddy read over at Andrew's Wizardly Reads channels together with Nico from Nico's Book Review and Marilyn, and we read book 1 in August already. And we were planning on reading book 2 in September and then book 3 in October. But because I'm kind of in a weird, funky headspace where I just want to finish out series instead of kind of, postponing them, I guess. Although it really doesn't make any difference. But anyway, you know, in my head it makes sense. So I will read both of these in October, actually. So they are both at around 400 pages. Well, this is around 300. This is more on the 400 page side. And I'm excited about this one. I talked about this a little bit, I think, in my August wrap-up, if I'm not entirely mistaken. I'm linking this down below so you can take a look at that. But that was a really good surprise. I had these sitting on my shelf for a while, and the covers are a little bit unassuming, and honestly, if I just go by the cover, I would have probably never read it. But this was really exciting. I loved the magic system. I loved the characters well enough to want to continue. There was one character that was really annoying, but generally speaking, this was definitely a 4, leaning towards a 4.5 star rating. So I'm very curious how these two continue. Continuing down the road of, continuing series, I really want to continue the Eric Carter series. And I know, I've mentioned this book a couple of times now, and I'm still at book 5, but I'm hoping that this might actually be a good palette cleanser for the readathon, because I have a bunch of chunky, heavier books planned for the different prompts. This is a bit on the shorter side. It's a very easy read. Another one, which I'm hoping is more of a palette cleanser, is the Thrill Chill Kill book club for October, which is Extreme Makeover. This is one of those books that I've seen around, and I kind of like the cover and the title, and it's giving me certain vibes, thinking Rouge Bunny vibes, and I'm hoping that that's what it is, and I'm hoping it's not too gory. I really would love to use this as a palette cleanser. This is on hold on my library for the audiobook, so I'm hoping that, first of all, that I'm getting it, and then that it is not too spooky. I know it's spooky season, but listen, this girl is a scaredy cat. There's just no way around it. I can't do jump scare, especially not on audio. I mean, what's the best time with reading a Dark Tower book than the Dark Tower readathon, right? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to read one of the Dark Tower books, which is book 2, The Drawing of the Three. I am so excited to continue the journey on the Dark Tower series. I love book 1. I know this is not a common thing, and I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I think book 1 was wild, and I loved it. I loved the whole ride. That was a very quick one because it was a very short book, which is why I'm really excited to continue the series. I don't know much about the series, so I actually don't know in which direction it's going to go. I know that this book was written quite a bit after The Gunslinger. There are a couple of years between the two. And that book one was written like in a drug-induced state of Stephen King's. I have no idea. So I'm hoping we still get some of the wild stuff that we've seen in book one, even though Stephen King was a different person when he wrote this to a certain extent. So anyway, long story short, I am really excited about The Dark Tower. I'm really hoping this is going to be one of those wild series because I love weird and wild and, you know, things that are not the norm, if you want. Anyway, I'm rambling. Yeah. TLDR, I'm excited about this one. And then, my friends, the chunker of all chunkers is going to be read in October. I think this is going to be the thickest book that I've read in my life. Well, technically, it's going to be my thickest book. If I count my Malazan reads and my Game of Thrones reads as one book, not as two. You've probably heard me say this before. In Germany, books are split. So Game of Thrones are 10 books in Germany, not 5. Malazan are 19 books, not 10. The first book wasn't split, but all the others, for whatever reason. And I've read all 5 books of Game of Thrones, but as a 10-book series, which makes them much shorter. And with Malazan, similarly, the first 4 books that I've read them in German, so they were split, most of them. And Gardens of the Moon is not that chunky. So technically speaking, this book is going to be the biggest chunker that I've read in my life, probably. That is going to be Under the Dome by Stephen King, and I'm really excited about this one because I wanted to read that for a long, long time, but the thickness really scared me. But this time we're doing it as a buddy read. So a bunch of people that are joining the readathon are going to be reading Under the Dome in the month of October. So I'm hoping that, you know, that collective suffering for reading a big chunker will make it easier. I'm definitely going to read it on Kindle. I didn't buy the paperback because I know it's going to be too heavy and too clunky, and will make my reading experience worse. So I'm going to read it on my Kindle and hoping that, you know, the lighter Kindle will make me believe that the book is actually lighter and then read faster. I don't know. Whatever works, you guys. Whatever works to get through chunky books. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love them. I love chunky books, but I am also slightly intimidated. This is my TBR for the month of October. You never know what happens. You never know what happens. And the good thing is everything that happens during the readathon stays in the readathon. So come on, join us. If you have not yet, check out my announcement video of the readathon where I talk about like the majority of the rules, where you find all the sign up information, where I talk about all the prompts and provide some ideas on what you could read throughout the prompts. And then I hope you'll join us. I hope I see you over there. And then I hope I'll see you soon with my next video as well. Till then, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.